I talked a little bit about the book I'm currently working on. I'm calling it Project Crown. I need to rewrite with a clean sheet of paper, and I feel tired. Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Sarah Jane and I make content on reading, writing, and life in DC. So if that interests you, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe because it really helps support my channel. I am starting this video on a Friday night, which is pretty abnormal for me. I usually start it in the morning. Worked this morning and now I'm kind of just having a really chill long weekend because it's Veterans Day weekend, so I'm really looking forward to it. I plan on working on my book. So if you watched my last vlog, I talked a little bit about the book I'm currently working on. I'm calling it Project Crown. It is a mythological fiction novel about the Amazons, and I've been working on it for over a year now. It's really exciting because I finally just finished writing the first draft in July, and then I put it aside for 3 months, and then I finally read it over last week. I wrote down like a ton of thoughts while I was reading it, and they're all just like on this sheet of paper. So what I wanted to do before jumping back into writing and doing all that kind of stuff is organize my thoughts before like going back to the manuscript. So today I went to Barnes & Noble and I did pick up this little yellow notebook. I picked up this notebook so that I could kind of take this mess and put it into something that was a little bit more organized. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Also, I've just been really enjoying being outside this time of year. I love fall, it's my favorite season. It's just too short. So anyways, even though it's only like 6 o'clock, it's pitch black outside, so I am just sitting outside on my patio and just enjoying the vibes with the fire and the light. Taken a minute to look at all my notes, and my face is like flickering because of the fire. Yeah, it's fine. All right, if my face is flickering everywhere, it's because of the little fire. Took a minute to look through all of my notes and kind of digest everything that I thought of about when I was reading it the first time, and I still have a ton of notes also within the manuscript itself. So this isn't even everything, but this is just like the overall views or thoughts that I had when I was going through. So I decided to like put this into 4 different categories. I did overall like thoughts, world building, developmental edits, and then character development. So starting with the overall things that I just need to work on in this manuscript, 2 things. One is my tense use is not consistent. I'm all over the place, and I think I'm gonna do 3rd person past tense. I'm not actually sure, but I feel like that's what I'm gonna do. And the second one is some of my formatting with my chapters and like some of the names. I just need to clean that up a little bit. I was pretty consistent throughout, but then halfway or like 3/4 of the way I was like, oh, I actually want to change it, and then yeah, then it wasn't consistent. Okay, next up is world building. And I have a couple things for this. I think one, I need to flesh out my overall timeline of my characters. Like, you think that that wouldn't actually, like I would have that already done. But as I'm reading it, I am going through the timeline inconsistently. So I need to flesh that out. Especially 2 of the battles, as well as the introduction of the main male character. 2, I honestly need to sketch maps. I have scribbled maps away in my notebook somewhere, but I really need to flesh it out more. I know that there are like map building websites out there, but like, I don't know. The free version isn't great and I'm not willing to pay for it, so I honestly might just sketch something in Procreate. But I need to make a map of the actual place that everything is happening and then the actual battle that takes place later. I think that'll just be helpful for anyone who's reading it. My pacing feels off. I talked about this in my last vlog. The first quarter felt really good. Second quarter was off. Third quarter was good. And then the final chapter was fine, but could use improvement. So I need to work on that. Next up is like, I have this book about the Amazons written by a professor, and that's been kind of like my guiding document throughout all of this to try and, you know, I'm writing this story about the Amazons, but like there's a lot of it that actually has been researched, so I'm trying to make sure I use that. And I kind of think I might need to read more into the history because I feel like I could enrich the story if I like delved a little bit deeper into the history. And then last up for world building is I really want to flesh out some of the culture and sayings that I want to incorporate within this novel. I've highlighted a ton of places that I've like earmarked where I want to include that, but I haven't like put any brain power towards some of their cultures and sayings, so I want to do that. So that was world building. Now developmental. I need to figure out what the overall conflict is because it does change throughout the book, and once it does change, I never like figure out what the overall conflict is for the beginning part, so I need to figure that out. And there's a couple of plot holes that I've left when reading through that I noticed that I need to circle back to. This document was found, like what does it uncover kind of thing, what happens to certain people, and so just things like that. And then last is character development. I honestly have 3 characters that I still really need to develop. So my book is a dual POV. It's a mother-daughter POV. The mother's character arc is pretty accurate to what happens in research. And the daughter, who is someone that I've created, her character arc I'm really happy with. But there's 3 other individuals that I think need some work. One of them is the main male character. He's kind of vanilla right now. Him as an individual, and then also his relationship with the main character is kind of vanilla. I feel like I need to do a little bit more research, and I think I need to get in the head of a dude a little bit because he's just like so wonderful in the way I've written him, and he's probably not, you know, I probably need to make him less wonderful. What?
I was gonna say about me, you need to make him less wonderful.
No, you are wonderful. The second character I need to flesh out is like the secondary male character for similar reasons. He has sort of like a little bit more of a spunky personality, which I do like about him, and there is a little bit more of like who he is already in the story, but I feel like I can go deeper. I feel like we can get there with him, and I really like him. And then last up is one of the sisters. So essentially the main female character has 3 daughters, and 2 of the daughters, great, love their personalities, they have character arcs. The third one had a presence in the beginning of the novel, and then halfway throughout the book she just like fell off the face of the earth. So I need to like write her back in. I don't know, and I've actually thought about taking her out. I was like, you know, maybe she just like doesn't even need to be a part of this, but then I was like, no, I think she does play a little bit of a role. I just need to figure that out. So anyways, I'm glad that I took a minute to kind of like decide or like reflect and kind of build this out between these 4 categories, because I think this is going to make it a little bit easier for me moving forward to just kind of be organized as I get back into writing and starting draft 2. I honestly don't know where to start. I think what I have had recommended to me is to kind of start with developmental edits first and then go into character development. However, because I do have gaps in my world building, I think I really need to step back into world building a little bit before going into developmental. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Anyways, I think I'm gonna start with world building and then go from there, which means I'm returning back to the drawing board of like what everything looks like. So, excellent. Officially 7 p.m. so I'm gonna go get dinner started, but I just wanted to share what I got done. So I picked up this is the book that I've been using to really get into Amazon history. Adrian is a research scholar in classics and history at Stanford. So anyways, this has been truly a godsend to everything that I've been trying to do. So really went and looked into one of the battles that I was trying to like make fit, found one that fit, so that was really good. And I was also able to put together a timeline, which I'm really happy about. Like I had it in my head, but I finally was able to flush it out, so like that makes me feel really good, because even though I might not mention the dates in my novel, it will just flow better if I am aware of what's happening. So anyways, really happy with that on the world development side. I'm gonna go cook, but I think maybe later tonight I might do a little bit more work. We'll see, I don't know. I also kind of just like want to watch some TV, so what I might do is like watch TV and then draw one of the maps. That might be what I end up doing later tonight. Anyways, I'm gonna go make dinner. I feel like this is like the non-fun part of like writing, is like all the research, because you know, you just want to write. That's the fun part, right? Happy Saturday. It's like 9 a.m. I spent quite a bit of time last night after dinner researching. So I was originally like reading this book, which I've already mentioned. I was reading a lot of this book, and then I also did some reading into like the web. But the things that I was finding online I wasn't particularly like impressed with, and I found it really confusing, because I specifically was trying to find like really good explanations on like certain Greek mythological lore, and it just felt really confusing. So eventually I switched to YouTube. I actually found one, like a couple videos that explained really well the things that I was trying to understand better. So I actually spent about 2.5 to 3 hours between late last night and early this morning, because I woke up and like immediately went back into it, researching some just Greek mythology, just to make sure that the things that I'm writing align like time-wise and, you know, make sense. And I'm really happy, because I found out that the things that I already wrote do align with everything, so that was really good. And then I spent some time just based off all the research that I found, making a list of things that I want to add and like what scene I want to add them into. So like I have 2 scenes that I have already built, and like how I want to expand upon them based on my research. And I also, what else did I do last night? Oh my god, I also drew the map on my iPad of like what the big end scene looks like. It's a map, and I'm really glad I did that, because I just feel like it's gonna make it so much easier. So I was like super productive last night. Really happy with it. I think I can show you guys. I don't think it'd be weird. So I have my iPad, and I use Procreate, which I've been trying to get better about using. I've been drawing a little bit on Procreate. So anyways, I drew this map. So I drew that map. I think that's gonna be super helpful. I like to just put where certain things are. Anyways, I had a very productive night last night. So drew the map, was able to find the cultural enrichments that I wanted to from this book, and then was able to use YouTube to just like refine history. So I'm really happy with the progress I made. With that being said, the only thing from like the 4 things I talked to you guys about last night, like the 4 like character development, like regular development, overall, and world building, the only thing I really haven't figured out is one thing, and it's under the development section, and it's well, it's actually the character development section. It's really my one character who kind of just like fell off in the middle of the book, and how I want to bring her back. I still haven't really refined that yet, and I don't know how I want to go about that. But I think what I'm gonna do, instead of like mulling over that, I really want to add in the things that I've already kind of put in there. So today I'm gonna write, and I'm really excited. Because, and the reason I can rationalize this in my head is because they always say that like overall developmental edits are what goes really into the refinement of draft 1, which is what I have done. I have done the work for that. The one character is a character development, and that's really something that you can do when you review draft 2. So what I'm hoping is like as I draft 2, it'll come to me, but if not, I am fully like ready to address that when reviewing draft 2. So, but you know, when you go into draft 2, you're really trying to make sure all the developmental stuff is done, and that is what I need to work on and focus on, instead of really honing on the characters. I went ahead and honed in on the characters just because that's me. I just, you know, hard charger. But yeah, so with that being said, I am planning on writing today. I'm really excited. I'm also so glad I grabbed this notebook. This has just made, I know this sounds so stupid, but this has just made my organization of all this so much easier. Like, oh wow, notebook, like big whoop-de-doo. It does things for me. These are all the things I'm using. I do plan on writing today. I'm gonna take the morning, I think, just to kind of chill for a minute. I'm probably gonna read Where the Library Hides by Isabella Banez. I picked this up in my last vlog. I took the dust jacket off, but this is the Barnes & Noble special edition. This just came out, super excited. Forget Love, this is the first book. This is the second book. But I think I'm gonna spend some time just drinking coffee and reading, and then just maybe like having a slow morning, because I think my soul needs a little bit of a slow morning, even though I spent a ton of time researching. But yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do, and then later today I'm gonna get into the actual writing, which I think is gonna feel a little I don't know how I'm gonna feel. I wonder if I'm gonna feel overwhelmed because I'm taking this big manuscript. I think some people, when they write their second draft, they start over from scratch. That is not me. I don't plan on doing that. I plan on taking the piece that I already have and refining it, instead of completely starting from scratch and rewriting. So I wonder though if how like overwhelming I'm gonna feel by doing it that way. I mean, they're both overwhelming in their own ways, but yeah, so that's the plan. So I will check in with you guys again in a little bit, but for now I just want to enjoy my slow morning. Now noon. I've had a very relaxing morning. I had my coffee, I've had breakfast, I read outside for a little bit, and now I am ready to write. I've also had a shower, which was, you know, something about a shower wakes you up. So anyways, I'm sitting at my desk. I was gonna work on my patio because it's beautiful outside, but it's also very crisp. It's 58 degrees, and I think my fingers are gonna get cold. So I've opted to write inside instead. I have my computer, my manuscript, and then all of the things that I've been using to support my writing, and I'm really looking forward to starting draft 2, which is really exciting. I think, you know, when I wrote draft 1, I measured success by not only time but word count. I had very specific word count goals. I think for draft 2 it's going to be different because I'm not starting over from a brand new manuscript. I am using the current manuscript I have on hand, so I think my measures are going to be time. So I think I'm gonna start for maybe an hour. I don't know, I haven't like written in so long. I wonder if an hour is too much. Maybe we'll start with like 30 minutes and then go from there. I like the idea. Okay, so it's been about an hour, so I'm taking a little break just to check in, and I think I understand now why people completely start rewriting again from scratch. And it's because as I'm going through this, I'm plugging and playing my notes, right? Which, I mean, there's a lot of them in, you know, the 300 and something pages I have in here, and it just doesn't feel cohesive doing it. I mean, I got through chapter 6, so like it's going good, and I can't imagine like typing and then looking at my notes, but I think I might have to try, because otherwise, I don't know, I just feel like as I had these notes about, like, you know, maybe make this fight scene longer, or, you know, describe this. I feel like I'm like inserting myself into this scene and, like, you know, fixing things about and then stepping out of the scene and jumping into another scene. So it doesn't feel as cohesive as like when I did the initial first draft, but I've already started, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and go through with it. But now, yeah, I just want to check in and say I can totally see why people just start from scratch now, because I feel like I'm not saying it makes it easier, because it's probably more time consuming, but I feel like the writing flow is probably better. Okay, everyone, so it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and sadly the sun is already setting outside. So I think I need to do a rewrite. And I can't believe I'm saying this, because it like kills me a little bit inside. I really thought about this earlier, if I wanted just to keep editing, which is what I've been doing all day today. I've just been editing. I'm up to chapter 9 now. But I feel like there are some sections that just need to be rewritten. Like the dialogue feels off. And I feel like I'm not gonna be able to do that without doing a rewrite. So I think what I'm gonna do is just start off with a fresh Word doc. I'm not nixing draft 1, because I actually think draft 1 is really good, but I think I wanna rewrite parts of it. Yeah, I don't know, I'm so indecisive. But then there are parts of it that I'm like, this is just really good and I don't want to cut it. I don't know what to do. Yeah, I think that's what I need to do. Especially as I'm building up the romance. I feel like I need to start, not from scratch, but like have at least write with a little bit of I need to rewrite with a clean sheet of paper for the budding romance. Okay. It feels a little overwhelming to do this, but I think I can do it. We are starting over. So, with that, I think I'm actually going to put a time limit then. And I think I'm actually gonna do a word count, which is funny because I said earlier today that I'm not doing a word count, but here we are. I got through quite a bit of edits, so I'm gonna put a sticky note so I can like let myself remember where I stopped. But yeah. I feel a little nervous. This feels like a lot of work. But I feel like it makes sense because I know the characters better now. I know the world better now. Okay, let's... I feel like I've been writing forever. I know I haven't, but it just feels that way. It's 4:15 and I think I'm at a good pause. I'm currently at 17-15 words. Wow, I haven't written words in forever, it feels like. I am taking a break though because I haven't moved my body much today and I feel like I should go for a run or something. But I wanted to say that I can see why people do a second draft, like a full rewrite of the second draft, because I can tell I'm like changing words, changing syntax as I'm writing and just making it a more tight manuscript. And then I'm also changing the tense like I wanted to make it consistent throughout. So it's just a cleaner system, I think, than going through and editing, which was what I was doing this morning. I'm kind of mad at myself because I feel like I wasted a whole day doing edits and now I'm actually starting the rewrite. But it wasn't in vain, because the scenes that I did do edits, I can go back and look in what I did earlier today. So it wasn't a waste, but it just kind of feels like it. I feel like I wasted a day where I could have been writing and I wasn't. I was editing, but it wasn't worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it. So anyways, I'm gonna take a break, probably go for a run or something. It's kind of chilly today. It's 59 degrees, so I'll probably put on some sleeves, but the sun is already setting, so I want to like beat the sun before it sets and just go for a quick run and move my body. And I am so tired. I have spent the whole day writing. I mean, I researched this morning, I restructured and edited this afternoon, and then this evening I have been writing so much, which is funny because I wasn't planning on doing a rewrite, but here I am. I'm honestly glad I'm doing it. I am like changing the tense so it's consistent. And I've been tightening up a lot of sentences that have filler words that aren't necessary, and I've just kind of been restructuring some of my paragraphs. I haven't deleted any scenes. If anything, I've added a scene that was missing, but I feel like going back and just writing it, I just feel like it's already a stronger narrative than the first draft. So today I wrote 6,345 words, which is great. Normally when I write about 2,000 words a day, but because my actual story structure is really strong. Like, I think a lot of times for people who are pantsers who don't actually have like a story structure, this is kind of where the rewrite comes in, versus for me, I had a very specific structure, a very specific storyline that I was following. So in terms of developmental edits, I don't have a ton, so the rewrite is good. In terms that it's not that hard, I'm able to kind of just clean things up as I go along. So I'm very excited about it, but with that being said, I'm very tired. I've worked on this all freaking day on a Saturday. So I'm gonna spend the night either watching TV or reading something that's just more chill. Also, I did draw out my map on my iPad, and I printed it out on my printer, and it turned out so good. I'm like really happy with the way this turned out, so I'm going to include this in my manuscript as well in the next print. But anyways, that's it for tonight. I'm gonna like chill the rest of the evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It is 8:30 in the morning. I woke up at 7:30 and was just like overcome with the need to write. I just needed to write this story. I feel like I just need to tell it. I needed to get it out of me. And now that I've been writing, over the past 24 hours. It's just like I want to tell the story that I have, but I want to tell it better. And so I woke up and I just like got in front of my computer and I just started going at it. Which is just like, I don't know, I just never thought I'd be that person who just like wakes up and is like, I need to write, but here I am. So anyways, I've been doing it for about an hour now. I wrote about 1,000 words. I'm going back in for like a second iteration. I did go ahead and have breakfast and I'm having some coffee now. So I'm like, you know, doing the things that I need to do, but I don't want to read. I don't want to be on my phone. I don't want to do any of those things. I just want to tell the story that I've created. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Oh, hi.
Oh, it's getting the belly rubs. Who is so happy getting belly rubs.
It is just so pretty out here. Good. It's like noon. I've been writing all morning, which has been really great. I'm at like 9,000 words. So the first 9,000 words, which was like 34 pages and was about 4 chapters long, was all world building. So like I really had to keep myself from rushing because, you know, building a mythical world is obviously like really important if that's your setting. So I was really trying hard not to do that, but I finally started after 9,000 words started the plot, which is exciting. So I'm at a good point in the story and it just feels so good to write. But I just got an Amazon package and I know exactly what it is and I'm really excited. I have Romancing the Cat Writes a Novel or The Cat Writes a Beat or whatever, but when I was reading my work I was like, I really need to get the romance down better. I'm not saying my romance in the book is bad, but I can just tell it's a little clunky, so I want to smooth that out a little bit. So I decided to go ahead and buy Romancing the Beat, which is a story structure for romance novels. It's actually pretty thin, so I could probably read this honestly within a day, because yeah, this is only like 80 pages long. It's by Gwen Hayes. It's one of those books that people recommend if you're looking into getting into writing and structure. This is a good one for romance. So even though romance is, I would not classify my book as a romance book, but romance plays like a heavy part of it. So this is gonna be good for me. So I'm not gonna read this at this moment, but I am gonna read this sometime today. Gosh guys, I'm just sitting outside and it's just so beautiful out here. Like I gotta show you. I've been watching my last couple vlogs. This tree has like slowly lost all of its leaves, but it's been the most reddest, beautiful orange tree ever. So I think before I get into my next stint of writing, I am gonna actually take the dog for a walk. So it's supposed to rain later today, so I definitely want to go on a walk with Cider a little bit earlier this morning, or I guess this afternoon. Oh my gosh, I just feel like the day is flying by. I just feel like that's what happens on writing days for me. I just get so absorbed into the story and the storytelling and the writing. But anyways, so gonna go for a walk and then I'm gonna get into more writing. I feel like I've been writing forever, and I feel tired. I guess I have been writing forever. I've been writing since 7:30 this morning and it's now 2:30, so that's a long time. My eyes are tired, my brain feels a little tired, so I think it's time to take a little bit of a break. I don't know if I want to read because I don't know if that's necessarily easier on my eyes or my brain, so I honestly might veg out in front of the TV and like watch something instead. But just as a little progress report update, I'm currently sitting at 11,998 words, so essentially 12,000 words. And I'm super happy with my progress. I've essentially doubled what I've done yesterday, which is great. And like, I'm really happy about that. It feels good. Like, I feel good. I'm finally getting into the plot. I've also started reading the Romancing the Beat. I wanted to check in and say that my brain's tired, and sometimes you have to remember that this is a marathon, not a sprint, even though I want it to be a sprint. And then actually, I have a question for you guys. Like, how do you feel about beta readers? I think I go back and forth so much about it, especially now that I have a completed work and I'm going through and like I'm editing stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about beta readers, and it's like, okay, do I really want a beta reader though? Like, I just feel weird sharing my work. I don't know. Anyways, those are my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts. I think I have one more writing sprint left in me tonight. I think I definitely went a little bit too hard writing today. I've written all day, and I think it led to a major migraine along with a lot of screen time, which is not good for my eyes. So, but I wanted to go ahead and just do one more sprint. So it's 7:45. I think I'm gonna go for maybe 30 minutes. I'm currently at 13,462 words, so we'll see what I get. I've already written 6,000 words today, so I'm not really going super hard, but like I said, one last time. Alrighty everyone, I'm hitting pause for the evening. It is 8:10. I'm finishing my word count at 14,313, which means I wrote 7,968 words today. Your girl is tapped. She's done. Yeah, so I got a lot done today, and I'm really happy with the progress I made. I'm also just tired. This is definitely the most I've ever written in a day, and my eyeballs hurt and my brain hurts, because even though like I'm not changing too much of the story at this point from my draft one, I am changing the tense. So every single sentence I'm going in and I'm having to change from present to past tense. So it's a lot to think about. But anywho, I'm gonna chill for the rest of the evening. I don't know if that means I'm gonna read or if I'm gonna watch TV. I'm not really sure.